have it? Does Tim have it or do you have it?
It should be on there. Well, I introduce myself while we get things together. Yay.
Tim's got it.
Okay, my name is Miss Ray. I've been in dental for about 17 years. And what prompted me to actually come up with this topic is an associate that I went to high school with, never went to dental school with at all, ended up sending me an email via Messenger on Facebook and told me, hey, I'm offering orthodontic services. So I clicked on her page because I was shocked. The first thing I saw was her new nice salon. She has a very nice salon. It's pink. It's her hair chair. I see the curling irons, but then I see her doing braids in one photo, and in the next photo, she's doing braces. So that kind of disturbed me just a tad bit because I had to remember, hey, did we go to school together? We did not. So the new trend in DIY is orthodontic treatment. Don't do it. And we head over to our next slide. All right, what are you about to learn will shock you. Do-it-yourself braces basically is an attempt to straighten teeth at home or in a beauty shop chair, in her case, to fix things at home. And what you cannot do if you're not a licensed professional, for one, it's illegal to practice any type of dentistry without the supervision of a DDS, a DMD, or anyone who has any medical practices. Going over to the next one. You guys are gonna laugh at this too. I'm a comedian. All right, we're going to school for about 3 minutes. I'm not gonna make you go to school long. Because one thing you need to know about dentistry is there's different specialties. There are some dentists that see you from the ages of 1 to 99. They do every scope. They do some fillings, they do this. But then they have specialty dentists who are orthodontists who go to school an additional period of time to actually be able to legally practice and correct smiles. And then we have orthodontic treatment. When you see the word orthodontics, if you haven't been in dentistry, you're like, okay, what's that? First thing comes to mind when I asked my mom, she was like, oh, my feet don't hurt. I was like, hey, I was like, Mom, I'm not talking about your feet. But orthodontics is basically braces where we're fixing the alignment. It helps out with your speech impediment. It shifts your smile and ultimately gives you a great presentation like mine. Another thing, orthodontic aesthetics, it's a cool word that we use in dentistry, but aesthetics, I teach my students, anytime you see the word aesthetics, it just means cute. So a lot of people get braces because they want to be cute like me. That keeps showing up. It helps with your speech. If your oral cavity is shifted off, sometimes you're either going to have a lisp or you're going to have difficulty using your tongue. And a lot of times orthodontic treatment does help. And the major thing is facial anatomy. We all want to smile and look cute like me. So orthodontic treatment does help with that and with new smiles. So we went to school for 3 minutes, so you know some of the terminology now and you know what to look for. Heading on over, now it's about to go down. It's my favorite line. Next slide. Look who's my DJ. All right, so we all shop online. I'm an avid shopper online. You have expectations. When you order that cute dress for New Year's, as you all will probably be doing, or your shoes, you have expectations to look like this. But then when you get it in the mail, this is what you really get. It's the same thing with the DIY. You have expectations of having a smile like this, but then you end up looking like this. Next slide. Expectations, beautiful line frame, great margins. Then in reality, you end up getting this because you wanted to save a few hundreds of thousands, maybe thousands of dollars. You wanted to save time. You didn't want to go to the dentist. You didn't want to do any preventative treatment. So what we want to avoid is the reality of our expectations with the DIY. Next slide. I'm not gonna hold you guys long. Okay, orthodontist versus DIY dentist. This is what made me so upset. So to become an orthodontist, of course, we do 4 years of high school. Like I was ready to get out of there. We all do that. They have to go to an undergraduate university for an additional 4 years and get their undergrad degree. After that, to even practice orthodontics, they have to do an additional 2 years, whereas a general dentist, they go straight from dental school and they get to practice small scopes of dentistry. But to become an orthodontist, you got to do 2 additional years. So all in all, they wasted, not a calculator, 10 years trying to acquire this licensure to provide for themselves and their families. Whereas our clowns, they do that in high school for 4 years and they watch a YouTube video. The longest one I've seen to do braces is 11 minutes.
Wow.
Why would you allow someone who did 11 minutes of videos to actually place orthodontic brackets on your teeth in order to look aesthetically pleasing, which we know it's cute like that? All right, next slide. All right, risk. The risk of doing it, you're gonna have damaged enamel. And this is the actual photo that I actually found online, but I got some even cooler things because from my knowledge as of now, in the state of Tennessee, you can get on Facebook, you can type in orthodontic treatment. I found at least 4 people, I'm not gonna say dentists, 4 people who have actual social sites promoting orthodontic treatment. But if you don't go to a specialized dentist, you're gonna have damaged enamel because believe it or not, to put the brackets on, which they can purchase off Amazon, which we probably need to call Amazon and bring them next. Stop offering these things, but they're using nail glue, the glue that you put your fingers on. That's gonna damage your enamel. Once those brackets come off, it's gonna pull at least a layer or 2 of your enamel off. Also, allergic reaction. If you're not in an actual healthcare facility and you're placing certain materials on a patient, you don't have a health history, you don't have their allergies. Something as small as using a colored band and they're allergic to maybe plastic, latex, and nitrile will cause them to have an allergic reaction. Gum recession, because from my findings, and I did eBay, I looked on Amazon, and I even looked on this little website called Trendy. The only brackets that I see that are able to purchase without being a dental license are only molar brackets, and molars are the back teeth. So the teeth that they're trying to actually shift forward, they're putting brackets on all of the front teeth, which that's not right. And it causes gum recession. So instead of the teeth shifting forward, they're pulling downwards. So their gums are exposed. And then permanent tooth damage. If you have nail glue, and one girl even uses, and you guys are gonna laugh so hard, I thought everybody stopped this with the Gorilla Glue girl, but one girl actually uses the clear Gorilla Glue to keep the brackets on. So all this can cause damage, and we definitely want to avoid that, those risks. Over to the next one, and this is where it gets pretty cool. So I started to look up, and I even inquired with a few people, hey, my daughter is 17, I want to get her braces. And I asked her, hey, what do you use? And they're using nail glue to keep the brackets on. And of course, we need a drill to remove them. They're using the drills that we use in the salon on your toes and your feet. They're using hand drills on patients' teeth. The brackets, they can't find them. One girl's using earring bats. And when I thought it, I was like, that's pretty intelligent. She's really smart and creative, but you're not supposed to use earring bats. As the wires, if they can't purchase the wires, there's at least 2 individuals in the Memphis area who use fishing line. Why? And a person, the wires that go in the back, they're supposed to tighten them. When they bring you in for a follow-up tightening appointment, which she charges $120 for, she used paper clips and twist them as your wires and fold them over. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't want to do that, and I wouldn't allow that to do it to my child or anybody that I know. Over to the next one. All right, so this is the cool part. This is an actual photo from a Facebook page that promotes DIY do-it-yourself ortho. Everything looks fine, but for example, this one in the corner, she's had these on for 9 months. She was like, hey, returning patient, been here for 9 months. Do you all see anything that has progressed in 9 months?
No.
She still has scalp, she still has braces, she still has everything. This one here, you can't see it very well, but this patient here, if you're going to have orthodontic treatment, it's mandatory. If your insurance is paying or you're paying, you have to visit the dentist every 6 months. If you're not cleaning up the tartar or the plaque, you're causing more damage than that you need. For example, here she has on power chains. Power chains are only supposed to use when you're trying to adjust a person's bite. I'm gonna use terminology. We in dentistry we call it the pit bull bite. You know, that right there. Y'all this. That's the only time we're supposed to use those. She has that on a random person who has a class 1 bite. Eventually, if these stay on too long, what's going to end up happening? She's going to end up having an open bite, or her whole mouth is going to be like this all the time. Pictures look fine. If you see that, you'll be like, oh, these look good, I'm going to get me some. But all in all, don't do it. Next slide. And this is where it gets really, really cool. price comparison. And I wanted to make it as realistically as possible. The same person that inboxed me, these are her special. I'm gonna read it to you. Grace's Christmas special. She just posted this on December the 7th. And of course, for legal purposes, I did remove her name. But she said, special, bring a friend, 2 people for $850. Must come in the same day together. Y'all don't want to miss out on her special. She's running a special for $850 for 2 people. That $850, braces typically are on from 12 months to 16 months or can expand depending on the seriousness of the case. But $425 to have braces put on by an unlicensed professional with paper clips, nail glue, hand drill gun does sound very good. It sounds good to a person who really wants to help their child but financially can't afford it. But at the same cost, don't do it. I'm gonna keep saying don't do it. And also, this is from another associate's page where she actually posted her comprehensive orthodontic treatment on her 16-year-old. Total cost for her treatment is $5,485. My personal perception is this is what drives people to do the DIY at home ortho, because it is a large amount as it relates to pay, but is it that serious where we will cause either more problems in our children, our family members to do that? It sounds good. Everything that looks good does not sound good. This comes with the $5,500 comes with your routine cleanings. It comes with a licensed dentist. It does not come with 11-minute video, and it comes with, and it also comes with a certainty of professionalism as well. Again, this comes with a hair chair where she may have did braids maybe 5 minutes later. No sterile items, no autoclave, no dental assistant, no treatment plan. So you're losing quite a bit trying to make ends meet. Is going to cause you to run into the problems that's going to be prolonged in the future. So don't do it. Next slide. All right, how to report this illegal activity. So what I have found out, because when I first heard about it, it bothered me for being a professional for 17 years where I had to go to school. There was a lot of long nights. There was a lot of stressful times. Dentists, orthodontists can make between $500,000 a year, if not $1 million a year in their practices. I just don't feel like it's fair to them to be losing income, losing patients. Their 10 years should not suffice for someone who watched 11-minute video, and they should not feel free to be able to offer these services to the public. And it is extremely trending because this girl has a hair salon and she does the ortho treatment out, but there's also one person in the Hacks Cross area who has a suite. Like, how legal is that for you to have a suite with a dental chair? She has a consent form that she proctored offline. She has a dental jacket with a tooth on it, never been to school, never practiced. It's just not fair. And it makes me understand, like, how did you get a suite in a legal facility to actually practice dentistry? So me personally is not to attack people's trends, but it's definitely to protect the community and also protect those professionals who did the right thing, who went to school, who knows about this, and who can actually make you aesthetically pleasing versus damage you forever. So if you know of anyone or you've heard of it, I did this myself, you want to report it to the American Dental Association. They have a website where you can make complaints, or the Tennessee Board of Dentistry or your local health department. Me personally, I did it. I didn't do it to be malicious or to take away someone's income, but that $425 she's paying, she's taking away income from a dentist who probably needs that patient to keep his practice going, possibly. But I reported it to all, and just my findings, I reported quite a bit. I have a lot of dentists that I've known throughout the years that I've informed this of too, and they too have basically reported it to all of the sites, but as of now, nothing has happened. I think if we get this out and spread the word and let these health departments know that these practices are actually happening, and these people have buildings, they have companies, they have cards, they have brochures. At some point, it has to stop because DIY dentistry is trending, and it's trending very fast, but it should not be overlooked. Yes. Question.
There's an ad on TV, and I don't know if it's legitimate or if it's something like this, but it's where you wear a clear plastic
aligners.
thing at night. And is that legitimate or?
That is legitimate, but when I did my research, they're the Invisalign, where you do an impression at home and they see you maybe 4 or 5. That is legal. Only thing about that is it's not under the supervision of a dentist. Anytime you want to do dentistry, make sure you're doing it with someone under the supervision of a dentist. For example, I know someone who got the Invisalign and her second case actually was too tight and it shifted and broke off her 2 canines. So at that point, I mean, there was nothing. She couldn't call Invisalign and be like, hey, these are too tight. They work too fast. What do I do? Now she has to adopt a new dentist and move forward. But this dentist knows nothing about this. There's no way out for her other than to pay that money. But they are legal. But is in their scope, and what saves them is it says it in all their paperwork, not under direct supervision of a dentist. That basically alleviates them for any damage that you get. You're doing it at risk. So that was definitely a good question. We want to report these activities, and I think that may be the last one, or yeah, key take. Oh, you can go back. Key takeaways. I left that off. Key takeaways. Don't do it. I know financially it looks amazing. I know that everyone wants to get that for their child. There are this specific person, she put braces on her 4-year-old. Why and how? The 4-year-old has braces and she was like, guys, bring your babies. Why would you do that? Yeah, their teeth have not developed. You have 2 sets of teeth. You have your permanent dentition and your primary dentition. There are not supposed to be wires or fishing lines or paper clips on a baby. Even though, of course, when I was in the field, a lot of people would call and they would say, hey, I want bracelets for my baby. And I was like, hey, go to the jewelry store down the street, you get some bracelets. But it's braces for it. But you should not be practicing this. And it behooves me that it's trending so much where it's taking income out of actual dental offices and it's taking away the legality of oral hygiene and oral health. There's no advances to it. All I can say is don't do it. If you know someone that does, deter them. If you have any family members that really want to get their kids in orthodontic treatment, I know it costs a lot, but there's a lot of practices that offer down payments and you pay by month. I suggest doing it that way. Yes, ma'am.
Do you care to comment at all about teeth whitening?
That's a sensitive subject, but yes, I will. Only because teeth whitening, again, anything that's dealing with the oral cavity, you have to be under the supervision of a dentist. There are a lot of ads, and there's even a billboard on Airways. Have y'all seen it? Where she's actually broadcasting it. I don't know how this stuff gets out. It cannot be done. Because what they're using, anytime you do teeth whitening, for one, you have to protect the gingiva. So you have to use a barrier. You have to use actual solution and place it on that patient's gums, not having any medical history, not having any background, not knowing if they're allergic to certain things. And it's easy though. And I'm just gonna be totally honest. And I wanna say teeth whitening is typically, they are charging, I've seen $100 for 30 minutes. They're making a ton of money. They're making a ton of money without the proper practicing of everything. But the fact that you can purchase it off YouTube and Amazon is what scares me. You can actually purchase a dental chair. You can purchase a dental unit. You can purchase dental brackets. I looked it up. The wires that they're supposed to use is like $12, but how and why? Yes.
I have two questions. Sensodyne advertises their toothpaste as a repair of your enamel that you lose. Your comment on that. And then my second one, there is a device that you occasionally see on Facebook that is an insert into your mouth that supposedly cleans your teeth a lot better. It's revolutionary in its design. And
Very much so.
Designed by a dentist. Your comments, please, on those two subjects.
Sensodyne. Sensodyne does promote healthy enamel. So I will agree. And their lingo is a little bit tricky, but Sensodyne does help with rebuilding of the enamel. Inside of the tooth, there's microscopic holes that you really can't see unless you have a microscope. And what it does, it's going to be your enamel, then it's going to be your dentin. What it does is the Sensodyne goes into those microscopic holes and goes into the dentin, which is the second layer of teeth. The enamel is the part that we see when we smile like this. right below there's a dentin. So the Sensodyne does go into the dentin and does promote a healthier outer shell. So I do agree with that, and it does help with sensitivity. I've used it before, and I've actually had orthodontic treatment. When I took my braces off, my resilience was gone. So everything was sensitive because I had this barrier on for so long, and a Sensodyne did help with it. So as their lingo goes, it's true, and it does promote secondary dentin to form. Now, those pretty cute ones with the blue light that you wear that's designed by a dentist, you do that at your own risk. Now, it does not clean your teeth. Nothing cleans your teeth but a hygienist and a prophy angle lens and prophy paste. Now, what it does is that UV light does shift the color or the pigmentation in the tooth. And what people don't know is it's temporary. So that light does make your teeth look whiter, but over long, that's something that's genetic, and it has a lot to do with your intake of your CO2, with your carbon dioxide. If you are a mouth sleeper, your teeth are going to significantly be white anyway. That means if you sleep and your mouth is open and air is going in and out, and it's just like a body. If it's too cold, we're going to dry up and get ashy and turn really, really white. Use a great example. So if they sleep with their mouth open, their teeth are really, really white.
And one more follow-up question. Waterpig.
That's my best friend. My best friend.
Aw.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Waterpig versus a toothbrush. Any particular toothbrushes you like?
Waterpig should be a part. Me personally, if you have orthodontic treatment or if you have anything that's prosthodontic place, anything prosthodontics is something you weren't born with, like a crown or bridges or something like that, or partial. But Waterpig should be a part of the daily routine, but they only promote it much into orthodontic treatment. But me personally, Waterpigs are healthy. They're good. They help to actually take the embedded food in approximately, which is in between your teeth, out and keep them clean. So Waterpigs is a plus for me. As it relates to toothbrushes, they're all the same. That's my personal perception. The only thing I would say is, have y'all ever noticed on toothbrushes, they got like soft, medium, and hard bristles? Hard bristles are only for prosthodontic devices. People tend to assume that, hey, the harder the toothbrush, the better I'm brushing. But what you don't want to do is damage the enamel. So toothbrushes, any brand is fine, but if you're using on your original oral anatomy or your original teeth, it should only be soft or medium. But hard bristle toothbrushes should not be used at all unless you have partials, dentures, or something that you were not born with. But a lot of people like to get hard ones because they assume, but they're causing more damage than anything.
Yeah.
Sorry for all these
We have
straight
a-
Oh, no, you're fine.
questions, but you see advertised too, one day you get a new set of teeth.
One day, new set of teeth. The molds.
Instant implants.
Oh, I see.
But they advertise it like one day. we can get
They
that.
have new machines out, specifically one that I know that's a lot more legitimate. It's called a Cerix machine, which is CERECS, where in one day they can fabricate crowns. Basically, they can replace teeth. But what I think that you're talking about is they take an impression. Have you seen people with the pop-out golds and things like that and implants? What they do is take an impression like that, and instead of it being gold, they're making white composite veneers and they're placing it over their original smile. So the original smile is never altered. It's typically over the teeth they already have, if that makes sense.
So they're not taking out.
Yeah.
And putting posts.
That's
in.
No,
That's
no.
Aspen Dental, isn't it? Aspen Dental.
Yeah, they're doing temporary. They're doing it over it. Because with an implant, and I have 2 implants, there's a period called osteointegration. So just like anything that's implanted in the body, your body's either going to accept it or reject it. So when they actually put that screw or that implant into the bone, you have to go through a period of osteointegration, with at a minimum is 6 months. So in 6 months, either that screw is going to make its way back out because your body rejected it, or it's going to stay in the bone where it accepted it. So they're getting implants overnight is totally impossible unless I missed something in my CE courses, which I don't think I did. You still have to go through that period of osteointegration. And I'm in month 5, and one of mine is kind of rejecting and one is accepting. So what they do with that screw in your bone, so 5 months, the screw's just sitting there. And just like if you get a heart transplant, they got to figure out if your body's going to take that, or they're going to figure out if your body's going to reject it. And it works the same way in dentistry. So after the 6 months, depending on, then they cut the gums or the gingiva again, then they screw your crown on. So you have to go through that period of osteointegration. So overnight implant terminology, I don't think that's realistic. And they're so expensive. It's about $7,000 a tooth. So you pay the $7,000 up front. If your body rejects it, you just gave him a nice, probably car note payment or something. So it's risky.
Questions online.
Yes.
So Miranda, you want to go first?
Y'all see my phone?
You're muted, Miranda.
There we go. This is great because I don't think people understand the reality of do-it-yourself when it comes to your health. And being a little bit in the health industry, people don't realize that, to me, your mouth is the gateway to your health. And dentistry is so important to your health. It not only can you detect things that can come up in a person's health, but issues that happen in the mouth, my understanding is it can be from some serious health issues. So other than damage from like the do-it-yourself braces, I mean, I cannot see why it could trigger other major health hazards doing something like that. Can you just touch on the importance of, that? Because people don't realize that's a very serious thing that they're doing.
Yes, with me doing my research, one of the most major issues they found out with this DIY is you can get apex strangulation. All right, with the apex strangulation, basically what they do is apex is the bottom, the core of the tooth. The severity of it, basically the bands that they put on your teeth can actually strangle because the teeth are alive and they need oxygen to keep moving, and they have nerve endings, they have pulp canals, pulp cavities. It can go so far as you have permanent loss of that tooth. So if those are too tight, it can actually close off that and that tooth can physically come out. Now, with that happening and exposing the gums, then like she said, it opens up area of infection. If you get infection, it can travel one or two ways, either to your brain or further on in any part of your body where you have anything artificial. Do it yourself is going to take you down either way. I don't see not one successful case unless this person has went to dental school or not, but it can cause a lot of issues, infections. It can cause strangulation of the nerves. It can cause shiftment of the teeth and permanent damage. The permanent damage part is the part that scares me. So that was definitely a plus. Thank you so much.
We got a question from Pat Goldstein online, and we've got about 2 minutes left.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah, I'll go quick. You were talking about toothbrushes. What's your opinion of the electric or battery operated toothbrushes?
My opinion is definitely a plus, because with the bristles, there's a rotation. When you were first taught when you were little to brush your teeth, they tell you to brush in circles. And a lot of us have lost that habit because we're moving so fast. Electric toothbrushes are a plus for me. It's an advancement. And I think it's something that you should even give to your kids, especially at the age of 5, because they're not going to do everything the right way and pull that material out inapproximately. So rotary toothbrushes are a plus. And I think everyone should own one. I think we need to just go ahead and square those away, because even with my 2-year-old, she tends to brush her teeth right across. That means she's not removing anything in between her teeth. So I did get her a rotary toothbrush. So those are a plus for me, definitely. Yes.
If you have someone who's like ground their teeth down, is there any type of orthodontic process to counteract that?
The only thing, if it's already grounded down, the only other option is to possibly get crowns, because again, if they enter that second layer, which is the dentin, it's already exposed and damaged. There's no treatment for that. If they're down, at this point, they could possibly get a mouth guard to eliminate any more damage. But if you notice that they're yellow and white, that means they're exposed to dentin. Only thing to fix that is possibly putting a crown over it. And that's going to be expensive.
It'll affect their face, right? And
yes, their face and everything shifts and everything starts to sink in.
Yeah.
So if you're grinding, get a mouth guard.
All right, there you go.
All right. Thank you all so much.